Rajan Wadhera, the president at Siam, to really help us analyze what's going on with the auto industry. Mr. Wadhera, good morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Great, very well. Mr. Wadhera, given that 25% of India's auto imports come from China, wanted to understand how badly has the industry been hit because of the coronavirus outbreak?
Well, I think we can split the problem into BS4 and BS6 because, this is the transition month and many of our members had planned an end of life of BS4 and starting of BS6. To a very large extent, I think the BS4 has not been affected, has not affected many members, but the BS6 start has had problems. Because the volumes were carefully calculated for BS4. So the effect of coronavirus, which is largely the supplies coming from China, is more on BS6 because BS6 has got delayed consequent to a lot of parts coming from China. And there again, what happens is that most of the Indian OEMs have developed parts with suppliers that are based out of China. They are world-class suppliers. Whether it is Bosch, Siemens, or Conti, etc., they have economies of scale coming only if you source it from China because it's not possible to set up units and factories in India. And even otherwise, Indian OEMs have been sourcing parts from China because they have been cheaper. So the effect, as you see, is largely going to be felt by the Indian OEMs and in two-wheeler, in four-wheeler commercial vehicles and also in the PV UV segment. Whereas maybe the Japanese OEM have their own supply chains and consequent to which the effect on them of the coronavirus will be very little. But if coronavirus, the way it is spreading to Korea, Japan, and if there is a similar lockdown like it happened in China, there will possibly be problems coming in the month of end of March or April. So yes, coronavirus has affected, it has affected BS6, therefore billing has slowed down. However, retail, as we know, of most members is better than the billing. Consequently, what you see as the figures that get reported is the billing figures and not the retail figures. Retails have been much better than the billing for most of the members.
Just on the point that you were making about the transition, Mr. Wadhera, wanted to understand if there is any calculation or estimate on the cost implications for the motor industry as such.
Well, the general figures that have been shared earlier were in the case of gasoline powertrain, costs would go up by about 3% to 4%, whereas in the diesel powertrain commercial vehicles, the cost could go up from 6 to 8%.
My immediate question is that at what level do you think this supply imbalance will match up? What Mahindra has told us is that, look, coronavirus is having impact on us, but inventory levels have come down. So whenever demand will come back, demand will automatically inventory levels will be refurbished and that automatically will lead to an uptick in the industry. So what is your sense?
What is my sense on what exactly?
The inventory levels, where they are right now.
For Siam as an industry or for Mahindra? I am representing Siam today.
No, I respect that, and that's my question. When I say Mahindra,
I think for all our members, inventory levels are, they are very comfortable at the moment for most of the members. The BS4 inventory levels are very comfortable. They'll be probably in the region of 10 to 14 days. We don't have exact number, but my own calculation tells me they should be of that order. And then the build-up for BS6 will start. So the month of March will be split into probably 2 months. The first 15 days would be retailing of BS4 and the next 15 days would be largely the billing of BS6.
What happens to the unsold inventory of BS4? For whatever reason, at the dealer level, at the company level, perhaps in the supply chain, if BS4 vehicles are not sold, how will they move in the, how will they be, what happens there?
Well, I think that's a very difficult question, and that's what we are all really looking at in case there is, all efforts are being made to make sure that there are no BS4 inventories. But if there are anything that is left over, we'll have to find out ways and means of how to handle that. In some cases, maybe it is convertible, but in other products, it may not be convertible. I think there are all-out efforts to make sure, and that's why I think the industry had done planning, declared end-of-line numbers, declared certain quantities, and now the reduction that you see of the inventory is consequent to that. And we are hopeful that all our dealers are hopeful that they'll be able to sell the 10 days stock that they are carrying.
We also understand that since BS6 is a superior technology than BS4, prices will go higher. Auto companies have already indicated that some of them have also taken a price uptick. But somewhere do you think auto companies in the short term, when I say short term, 3 to 6 months, maybe 6 to 12 months, they will be forced to take a margin hit purely to maintain the demand? So the cost of production goes higher, but the market is such that if you pass on everything, it will dampen the demand further.
Well, I think these are individual decisions depending on your own business plan, your ability to take increases, not increases. These are the decisions that individual organizations will take. Siam doesn't have a view or a guideline on that.
I know you said you're representing Siam today, but Mr. Wadhera, the latest batch of sales figures have also been, sluggish once again. And in fact, in some pockets have actually been even worse than anticipated. Just to get your perspective both on M&M, the kind of demand situation you're currently seeing, how much further it could get disrupted on the back of what we're seeing globally currently.
Well, the demand is, as we have been saying, based on the growth in the country, the level of economic activity in the country has been far less, and consequent to which we have seen the kind of degrowth that we have seen in almost all the segments, except a temporary positivity that is coming in the rural areas where we are seeing some growth over the previous 2 months. Rest of the segments and rest of the country, due to economic activity and due to weak sentiment, there is almost every segment, if I see, is down. And moving forward with the BS6 and the price increases that may happen, that it is a further dampener. So to that extent, we don't see growth coming back to auto industry.
Okay, so that's actually quite a strong statement coming in on growth, and it looks like it's going to be tough times ahead. Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Wadhera, this morning, and giving us your frank assessment of things as they stand.
Thank you.